If you woke up this morning and you in a good space and you got your right mind and you have another opportunity, I don't care what your circumstance is. It really does not matter where you find yourself or what happened yesterday or yesteryear. Today is a new day. Tomorrow is going to be a new opportunity. And so as long as you taking steps to be successful today, that's it, man. Y'all got to leave the past and behind you, bro. Don't worry about people that keep trying to drag you back to your past. Don't worry about people that keep trying to hold you accountable for things that happened in the past. If you've apologized, if you've held yourself accountable, if you brought yourself to the front of the congregation, if you've asked God for forgiveness, if you've sought forgiveness from the person that you did dirty or you did wrong, man, listen, man, that's under the bridge. Now, that's up to them of what they're going to do with that information. But as far as you trying to atone for your mistakes and you making up for it and you did what you were supposed to do, you ask for forgiveness and then you go about forgiving other people that may have wronged you because you want to be forgiven according to how you forgive other people. It's time to work. It's time to work. It's time to move. It's time to work. It's time to make it happen. Forget all of that nonsense. We're not worried about it. Listen, if you've done any time in prison or whatever like that, you paid your debt to society, it's time to work. If you've done somebody wrong in your past, maybe it's a baby mama or a baby daddy or something like that, and you making it shake and you doing what you got to do in order to atone for that situation, it's time to work. Straight up. If you might have lost the job in the past, I lost the job in the past in the 2007, 2008 recession. And, I learned from that junk, but I ain't let that junk hold me back. I was like, listen, never again. Never again. This is a lesson that God ain't gonna have to teach me twice. It's time for me to run it up. And ever since then, we've been running. Ever since then, we've been running. And so y'all got to let that past go. A lot of people are letting they pass. And man, it's so funny because I don't even know what I'm going to say when I'm going to get on here. I just tell y'all my authentic thoughts of what I got going on in my life and what my thoughts are. A lot of y'all are letting y'all pass and the people hold things over your head for your past and preventing you from getting successful and becoming what you need to be. It's so many blessings on the other side of stepping over your past. You keep putting your past right in front of you instead of your past being behind you. And so that prevents you from being successful. You got to let that go. I don't care what it is. You atone for it. You take accountability for it. You ask for forgiveness. You forgive yourself and then you forgive other people. And then it's time to move. I'm not about to spend not one additional second on anything that happened in my past if it's not something that I can learn from and benefit from today. I don't go out and hang out with people in my past. I don't go out and try to see my old hood. I don't want to see what's happening with all of the girls that I used to talk to and date. I don't go and look up people on Instagram and Facebook. I don't care. I'm too busy running forward to be paying attention to what goes on behind me. And the faster that you run forward, the less availability you have to look behind you, because what'll happen is the minute that you take your eyes off the road, that's when you crash. You're supposed to be cruising. But instead, you focusing on what's happening behind you. They trying to catch up to you. I ain't got time to be focusing on them. I'm focusing on catching the person that's in front of me. And so y'all got to let that go. Let whatever it is that's shaking you. Let whatever it is that's holding you and controlling you. Sometimes it's something that somebody did to you that you're allowing yourself to be prevented from really being able to be successful. Oh, they did this to me or they pissed me off. Don't you know that person and already moved on with their life and they're winning? And that's why I say forgiveness is important, because forgiveness is for you. It's not just for the other person. Forgiveness is for you because it releases you from the past and allows for you to thrive. Nobody said that you got to go over there and be kissing on their butt and making up with them and stuff like that. Listen, make it shake. Let it go under the bridge. It is what it is. There's plenty of people that done me dirty. And I'll be like, hey, man, listen, we cool, bro. I want you to win. I want you to listen. If you want me to forgive you, then all you got to do is forgive somebody else. And then go out here and do what you got to do to make this earth a better space. You can't do nothing for me. I'm running. I'm gone. I'm out the door. I'm gone. You can't do nothing for me but do something for yourself. I already forgave you before you ever came to me. It's already under the bridge. You want to make it shake? You want to make a move? You want to get to it? Man, I ain't on that, man. Listen. Once you get past a certain age, and I wish that young people would actually take this a little bit more serious before they get older, because you don't know when your time is up. Once you start getting a little bit older and a little bit more mature, you'll start to realize exactly how much time you wasted in your life. Occasionally, I look up something. Let me pull it up for you real quick. Let me pull this up. See if I can find this really quickly. And, it's a chart. It's a statistics chart. And it says, man, I forgot what it was. It's like a thing that basically breaks down how long or how much time you spend in the bathroom and how much time you spend sleeping, how much time you spend, and it'd be years. It'd be years of how much time you spend. Um, I don't know where it's at. According to this website, it says you spend 79 years on average, 28,835 days. That's how much you got on average. You got almost 80 years. You got an 80-year window. So if that be true, and I'm 41 years old today, that means that I'm on the tail end of my life. I've already crossed over the threshold. God, I hope you allow for me to live to 90 in great health, right? And it says this is how much of your lives you spend, right? Let me see if I can pull this up. Hold on, give me a second. I want to see if I can get a better illustration of this. And again, I did not anticipate doing this or having this conversation per se. So this is the chart. It says you got 79 years on this earth, right? And on average, you have about 28,835 days. On average, the average person spends 33 years in the bed. You spend 33 years. Throughout our lives, we spend an enormous 26 years sleeping. 33 years in the bed, 26 years sleeping, right? And I do this and I look at this stuff occasionally because it reminds me and it puts into my mind exactly what it takes in order for me to be successful and whether or not I'm wasting my time. So when I go to bed, a lot of times I'm very, very careful. See, a lot of y'all will go to bed and you'll spend 8, 9 hours in the bed, but you'll spend 2 or 3 of it on your phone scrolling up and down. You'll be like this the whole time, scrolling. And I'm thinking to myself, well, listen, I would rather be up working on my computer or doing something productive or getting ahead so that I can do what I really want to do on the weekend instead of spending time inside of the bed just scrolling up and down all day, right? So when I hit the bed, I'm going to get a hot 5 to 6 hours. Me and you getting the same amount of sleep. You just sitting there scrolling on your phone and then you acting like, yeah, I sleep for 8 hours. No, you don't. You scroll for 2, you sleep for 7, and then you hit the snooze button a bunch of times, right? But for me, I'm going to get all of the time that I'm in the bed, sleep. And when I'm not sleeping, I'm up and I'm getting to it because I know I have a limited amount of time that allows for me to really be successful and take advantage of whatever it is that I'm going to do in this lifetime, right? You spend 26 years sleeping, but you spend another 7 years laying in the bed. And this is serious. I'm telling you. Real talk. It goes on to say you spend 13 years on average, 4,821 days working. And that includes 1 year and 14 months of additional overtime, right? That means if you continue to go over, when you sitting on the phone, and actually I think that this is old, because this is actually taking into consideration people sitting in front of the TV and watching TV. If you looking at this, it say you spend 11 years watching TV. Now think about it. You gonna spend time on your device or you gonna spend time watching TV anyway. Why wouldn't I spend that time on something that's actually meaningful and productive? Why would I spend that time wasting it on something that's not actually adding value in my life? You telling me I got to consume a bunch of BS? I got to sit here and listen to people going back and forth, whining and complaining about each other, and they not even going to be beefing with each other in 3 days, but I got to sit here and deal with that junk? You telling me I got to really, really try to understand without gaining any value, because it's okay to be entertained, but you also want to make sure that you're getting something out of it, right? 8 years watching TV, 3 years on social media. I think that that's flipped. I think that that's flipped. This is how long you spend eating. You spend 4 years and 6 months sitting and eating. Now, these are all of the things that you just doing that's not really adding any meaningful thing to your life if you're not really intentional about it, right? 3 years and 1 month and 3 weeks on holidays. 1 year and 4 months exercising, right? The romantic side of your life, you spend 1 year and 30 days being romantic. Nah, I'm going to have to increase that. 334 days in school, right? And remember, it's 24 hours in a day. So you take 24 hours and you multiply it by 334, and that's how long you spent in school, right? And this is what you got left. I don't know if this goes into it. Oh, okay. After all of this is added together, now think about this. This is really the microcosm of what life is. After you do all of the things that everybody else require you to do, right? After all of the things that they require you to do, you only got 8.2 years to do what you want to do. You got 79 years on this earth. 71 of them, you did things that everybody else wanted you to do. You wasn't meaningful. You wasn't intentional. You wasted your time. You pretended like you was depressed. You was looking for validation. And you got 8 years left. Let me highlight it for you because I really want you to understand this. At the end of the day, when you get done playing games, for those of us that actually live to be 79, 80 years old, you only got 8 years to make it shake. I don't have time to hold a grudge against you. I don't have time to be wasting on things that's not meaningful in my life and to be spending it around people that's actually trying to backstab me. I don't have time to be spending it with women that ain't adding value into my life. I don't have time to just be sitting around shooting the breeze with dudes that's going to jail tomorrow. I don't have time to go back and revisit a place that I already grew up in because I lived it once. I'm not going to be living it twice. I don't have time to sit here and go and do things that I don't want to do. I'm not going on a cruise because I don't like cruises. I'm not going to spend time on a cruise ship because I don't like it. Why would I do it and waste that amount of time that I can allocate towards something that's actually meaningful? If I'm going to do it, if I'm going to be awoke, I'm going to make it count. If I'm going to be woke, I'm going to make it count. I'm not going to sit here and play no games and go back and forth about things that don't mean anything to me with people that's not actually feeding into what I have to do in order to be greater as a version of myself. You can have that. You can have your beef. You can have your hate. You can have your looking back. You can have going looking up people on Instagram or Facebook that you done long forgotten. And I'm not checking to see what you're doing. I'm not checking to see what you got going on. I'm running it up. And that's why I spent, when I was talking to Rita from the very beginning of when we started having, start getting together, whatever. And I set the precedent very early. And I said, Rita, let me help you to understand something. This is how we going to play this. And this is the honest to God truth. I said, when we get together, I'm going to hustle. I'm going to grind. We're going to live this full life. But we going to spend 1% of our time, 2% of our time on things that we don't like about each other. And we're going to spend the other 98, 99% of our time on things that's meaningful that we actually care about and we're going to enjoy. I'm not sitting here trying to change you. I want to embrace the thing that I like about you the most. I'm not spending no time sitting here going back and forth with you. I'm not about to raise my voice. I'm not about to argue with you. Y'all keep telling me and sitting here talking about Anton, relationships is supposed to be work. No, it's not. I don't have to be like that. I don't have to live in this zone that y'all living in. Relationships are not supposed to be work. They're supposed to be enjoyable. Now, will you go through growing pains together? Yes, but that doesn't mean it has to be work. That doesn't mean we have to argue. That don't mean it has to be beef. That just means that we can have a civilized discussion and we can move forward. And I'm only going to spend a minimal amount of my time on it because if I got 80 years on this earth, I'm not going to spend it arguing with you. I would rather walk away and go and be fulfilled and do something else than to sit here going back and forth with you. I'm not arguing with no woman in real life. I'm not going back and forth with you and beefing with you in real life. I'm not about to get into a fight with you and be spending a portion of my life in prison. Think about it. There's dudes that are going sit down and do 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Bro, that's 15 years out of your life. I'm not about to be spending 15 years in a jail cell over ego and having child with a bunch of hard legs in the room when I could be sitting out here having a good time and enjoying life and living on the beach and flying where I want to go. Man, I'm not sitting here playing no games with you. So for everybody that try to get y'all to crash out, for everybody that think that they wasting their time, be meaningful, be intentional, let that junk go and run it up. It's Friday. We gonna have a good time. We not gonna fumble the bag. We gonna be intentional. We gonna enjoy friends. We gonna enjoy family. We gonna go and have some good food. We gonna have good energy. We gonna make sure that our algorithm is feeding into the things that's actually peaceful, entertaining, and meaningful to us that can actually add value into our life. Shout out to the bag chasers and the Patreon members. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. We running it up. We ain't got no time and no energy for nothing that's negative. I'm not focusing my energy on you. I'm focusing my energy on them. And those are the people, the bag chasers, that's actually pouring into me. I'm pouring into them. And our experience on this earth is going to be much better and greater as a result of it. That's what I'm on. So if y'all not on that, miss me. Miss me with that.